Hey guys, David Waldrop here, certified financial planner with Bridgeview Capital Advisors and author of the Astute Advisor personal finance site. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough on a very basic yet very helpful loan amortization schedule template that I got from the Microsoft site. Seriously, got this probably 10 years ago. I use it all the time. It's great for figuring out total interest. It's great for analyzing your debt, making sure that you are using debt wisely and being strategic and taking advantage of all the options available to you to reduce your debt or pay off debt sooner. So let's get right into it. This is a run-of-the-mill spreadsheet template that I got from Microsoft.com. I am going to just start in, and for this example, we're just going to use assume that this is a mortgage. But again, this works for all different types of loans, car loans, personal loans, whatever it might be. So don't just think this is for mortgages only. Really, the main takeaway is to get a really good understanding of how these long-term loans are structured, how principal and interest work, how much interest you end up paying. That's a thing that a lot of people don't really realize. Let's get right into it. Let's assume that we've got a 30-year loan and you've taken out a loan or have a loan that's $350,000. And let's assume that the interest rate is 3.8% and it's a 30-year mortgage. So we're just going to type in 30. Let's say that our first payment is due a month from now. So we'll call it February 17th, 2018. The payment frequency is monthly. You have the ability to change it in here depending on the terms of your loan. So again, it's not just mortgages. Variety of different ways that this sheet can be utilized. That's why I like it so much. And once we've typed in that information, you can see it auto-populated all of the principal and interest, your balance, the due date of every single loan, the payment number, all of that good stuff. So what I want to show you guys, I'm going to scroll all the way up. So here we go. We've got our first payment due in a month. We have a payment due of $1,630.85. And this is what I find is very powerful. It breaks out which portion of your payment is interest and which portion of it is principal. And then it's going to also show what your balance is. And how I use this sheet is whenever I plug in an amount, all of the terms, I go straight to what are my total payments, and that is the thing that usually catches people by surprise when they take out a mortgage or some kind of loan and there's principal and interest involved. We all tend to focus on, can we afford the payment? $1,630, sure, that fits within the budget, but we don't consider how much interest we're going to pay or what the total payments are. So something that I find very interesting is that your total payments when you get done with the 30 years is $587,000. That's huge. I mean, interest that you pay on that, even though you've got a great low rate, but you're paying it over 30 years, most of your payments are being applied to interest in the early part of your loan. $237,000 in interest that you end up paying. That is powerful. So how can we use this sheet? This sheet is excellent to kind of figure out where you stand with a loan over time, what the future might look like if you take certain actions. I know I have clients and friends asking me, should I pay extra payments to my loan? That's a whole different topic as to whether you should or you shouldn't. I've got articles on my site that go into detail on the pros and cons. But this is going to be something that I think is very powerful for you to use and understand what impacts you can have on your loan, whether reducing interest or shortening the length of your loan based on making additional payments. So let's say, for example, you say I can afford a $1,600 payment, but I can only afford to do an extra $250 a month. And what happens if what does your loan look like if you start paying an extra $250 a month? Well, this is where we go into this column here, this section, and we can type in 250, and right out of the gate, everything is going to adjust. You just applied $250 to principal, all of these numbers adjusted, and you can see that that $250 payment that you made, just one $250 payment, just saved you $527 in interest over the life of your loan. That is amazingly powerful. So you can imagine how much interest you can save by additional payments of $250. So let's look at a scenario. Let's say that you pay an extra $250 for, let's say the first, we'll call it the first 5 years. Let's do the first 5 years. So I'm going to take this 250, I'm going to right click, copy it, simple as copy and paste, and I'm just going to start scrolling down, and I want to get to February. Let's get to February 2023. So all I did is I just copied that extra $250 payment for the first 5 years of the loan. And look at that. Look at what interest you save. $26,000 in interest in change, of course. Not only did you save $26,000 in interest by making some additional payments for the first 5 years of your loan, look at what happens when we scroll all the way down. We're scrolling down the amortization schedule. We're going to go to the end of the loan. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for when the balance over here is 0. And you can see that it became 0 right here. And we can track, okay, that's payment number 335. You had a total of 360 payments. By making that extra $250 payment every single month for the first 5 years, you save $26,000 in interest, and your loan is paid off many, many months sooner, 25 months sooner. So I believe that should be about 2 years. Yep, 2 years sooner. So you can do a lot with this spreadsheet, and I highly recommend you don't even have to use this template. I love it. I've been using it for years. I use it in my practice. I've done it when a client gets a car loan or is considering making some kind of investment in a business, whatever it may be. This tool gives you the opportunity to make some changes to an amortization schedule, figure out how much interest you save, whether or not you can even afford a particular loan. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. I could probably talk for another 10 minutes about things that you can do with this. The reason why I like having these sheets in Excel as opposed to doing some online calculators is that once you've done a sheet, you can then copy that sheet and then have a new sheet that you're working off of. And that way you can go back to the original sheet and reference it and compare and contrast a whole lot of things that you can do. So hopefully you found this helpful. Definitely, if this was helpful, please like the video and make sure to subscribe. I've got a whole host of other videos on a variety of personal finance topics. There's going to be a lot more walkthrough videos just like this, showing you ways that you can make smarter financial decisions. So with that, again, this is David Waldrop with Bridgeview Capital Advisors, certified financial planner and author of the Astute Advisor personal finance site. Until next time, have a great one.